So we'll all be working together this legislative session to move this bill, to get it taken seriously as part of the state budget. It's tax fairness that states need, it's revenue that states need, and it's going to be a response to the large-scale cuts that we're going to see from President Trump and the Republican-run Congress coming to state houses all across the Northeast. So our hope is that the states can do it together, that we can build tax fairness, that we can fund things that regular people need, and we can begin to put a bite in the extreme inequality that has torn our country and our democracy apart. We'll take any questions, or we can close it down. Up to you guys.
So, how many patriotic millionaires do we have here in Rhode Island, and how many people do we have that would qualify for this tax, and how much money would it raise? 3 questions.
Sure. Maybe we should do this together in terms of numbers of patriotic millionaires.
Yeah,
I know we have plenty of millionaires. I don't know if any of them are patriotic.
right. We have several hundred over the country who've signed our letter. I am not aware of any who reside here in Rhode Island.
Yes. So the measure would raise $39.4 million a year in Rhode Island. In our paper here on page 10, there's an explanation of how it's calculated. The hedge fund and private equity funds operating in Rhode Island make about $200 million in under-taxed carried interest profits every year. Yep. We've applied a conservative methodology to that amount. I think it's probably fair to say that Providence Equity Partners is the lion's share of that. Billionaires Jonathan Nelson and Glenn Kramer, who we believe got a visit from Paul Ryan and might have talked about this loophole 2 weeks ago today. These are folks that are civic-minded people. I think that Morris and his group are going to reach out to them. I think it's right for them to pay their fair share. We're not talking about confiscatory taxation. We're not talking about taking away all their money. As Morris said, what we're asking to happen is that some measure of tax fairness be applied and that money that's not being paid at the federal level be repatriated here to Rhode Island.
Right. Do you have a list of the hedge funds that are included in that?
We don't. We can provide you the basic information about the deals. I've got a Excel sheet. We use the Prequin database, which is a proprietary database of hedge fund and private equity deals. And, we can pull the Rhode Island numbers and get it to you.
I'm most curious about point 2 to capital. Would that be? Do you know if that's
off the top of my head, I can't answer.
Can I ask the legislators the question?
Of course.
What did the Speaker and Senate President say when I'm interested in what was your reaction when you brought this? I mean, I know the Speaker in particular doesn't like new taxes. What was his reaction to this proposal?
I think the reaction was similar to the reaction on a lot of the things that get brought up. All right, we'll let it go through the legislative process. We'll look at the merits, and we'll look at it. Obviously, the Speaker has a policy priority that requires some revenue, so certainly pitching it in those terms, and we'll see as we have our legislative hearing how it continues to develop.
I haven't had the discussion with the Senate President yet, but I've talked to the Finance Chair about it. I've talked to the Director of Revenue about it, and everybody seems to agree that it's something that needs to be addressed. It's going to be difficult to do at the state level. We really need it to be addressed at the federal level, and that's kind of where we are right now.
Are you guys confident this will become a law this year?
As confident as I am that anything else I propose is going to become a law.
I've never been confident that anything I put in will become a law, but with a lot of work, we get things across the finish line eventually. So that's the hope.